Welcome back. All right, so a little bit of news of the day for the end of tonight because tomorrow is hockey all day, pretty much. Yep, starts at noon my time and then runs pretty much through 10 o'clock tomorrow night for me. So, might as well do the news video now. No guarantee that I'll have a ton of time tomorrow to get this done. So, Stamkos today was added to the COVID protocol list. Of course, he missed the game yesterday, and they didn't say why at the time. And today, the bad news is for Philadelphia, Lindblom has been added to the protocol list, Lawton as well. Now, here's the one thing. It does not mean that Lindblom has it. And of course, Lindblom went through cancer treatment about 6 months ago. So that's why people would be concerned for him. But it does not mean that he currently has it. It just means he's basically on a watch list. At worst, he may have it, but it just means he's on the watch list and he's isolating. And this is why the Flyers have been shut down. And there's some concern about the Tahoe game, but I think they make it to the Tahoe game. We'll see if they're back on the ice by then and playing. Because getting back on the ice is one thing, but actually being in playing shape is another, right? So, yeah, Lawton being on the list is concerning from a goal scorer's perspective, Lindblom for a whole other reason other than that. Tarasenko took part in an optional skate today for the Blues. He's still weeks away, but the fact that he's on the ice, he's out there with teammates, these are good things if you're a St. Louis fan and you're looking forward to Tarasenko being back. Devon Toews, he's off of the IR, so it looks like he'll be good to go when Colorado returns to action on Sunday. And McKinnon may very well play Sunday as well against the Vegas Golden Knights. So having McKinnon back in the lineup, Toews back in the lineup is the one silver lining of these teams being shut down as they are, is that you could have guys who were injured prior to the break you're having back in the lineup. I know for New Jersey, Blackwood could very well be back with them when they get back on the ice. So if you're looking for the silver lining, you kind of have to. Then that's one for you. On the Winnipeg front, PierreLuc Dubois left practice early today, but he should play tomorrow against Ottawa. Apparently it's nothing too concerning that caused him to leave practice early today. We'll cross our fingers on that. Now, if you're a player that's currently in any kind of isolation, having to go through any kind of quarantine, maybe call Cole Perfetti. There's a whole article today on ESPN on Perfetti having 34 days of quarantine experience. That's over a month. Over a month of isolation. Basically being locked in a hotel room. Over a month. So Perfetti kind of considers himself an expert on this. Someday he'll look back and say, I remember the bizarreness that was 2020 and 2021, and I'm glad I'm not stuck in a hotel room now. Perfetti, of course, stuck due to the World Juniors, and then Winnipeg, and then everything else that's been going on. It's a grand total of 34 days for him. So, yeah, guy's definitely a warrior on that. Vancouver news for today, Brandon Sutter saying that the team, there's improvement, they feel the improvement, and they need to just stick with it. I'm not going to disagree the Canucks haven't been better, but they're not winning. So you can argue that at least one of the games against Toronto, they played well. At least one of the games against Montreal, they played really well. And last night against Calgary, they played a pretty good game, but they're losing all of those games. And this is what happens. On any given season, you're going to have a team that has a miserable record, misses the playoffs, and yet they played pretty well. Moral victories don't cut it. And in a shortened season like this, I had them in the sales video today for a reason. I think they're going to be sellers at the deadline. I'd be very surprised if they're not. And Sutter's one of those guys that at the end of this season probably ends up going somewhere else. The only thing that I get concerned with is whenever a team goes through a miserable period like this, the locker room will sometimes become kind of miserable as well. And so players then suddenly want out. So instead of players saying, hey, we'd like to go and play in that city, they might be like, you know what, I'd like to play somewhere else. I don't want to play there because there's a toxic atmosphere there right now. So that's the balancing act you have to have when your team's going through a tough time. And I don't get the feeling that Detroit has had that problem, that players will always be willing to go to Detroit and play there. In part, Steve Yzerman being GM helps, but I haven't seen that toxic locker room issue with them, and I haven't seen that in media at all or even in rumors. So it helps to make sure you've got that all balanced out. Arizona tonight, in about 10 minutes time from when I'm recording this, will start the longest homestand in team history. So if they're going to make the playoffs and if they're going to be a good team, this 11-game homestand is going to give you a good idea for where they're at. Arizona and St. Louis playing each other for, I think it's 78 games in a row, something like that. And yeah, we'll see how that works out for them tonight, and whether or not when they play somebody else, whether or not they're picking up really good habits here and they're getting really confident and they're becoming a better team, or if they struggle elsewhere. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as always. There were no other Tampa Bay Lightning players put on the protocol list for Tampa. There are still plenty of teams in the NHL that have none listed or 1 or 2 listed on the protocol list. So again, I don't see anything to get overly panicked about right now. But the NHL right now, according to the board I've got made up for tomorrow, there are 3 games that were supposed to be on tomorrow that were postponed. And that's going to be just a thing, I think, going forward. But we'll see how they get it all figured out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as one final note, if you're not watching the Boston-New York Rangers game, you are really missing out. There's a fight every 10 seconds. It's about 10 seconds. And most of them are legit, like, punches thrown fights. This is just, these teams really hate each other. And I will dispute Jack Edwards, who says that the Rangers have been starting it. I kind of think it's 50-50. I think the Bruins have started their little bits in there as well. And I even caught Marchand kind of letting the Rangers know how he feels with a little bit of a stick to the gut kind of move. So, you know, there's a lot of love going on between Boston and the Rangers, and it's been a really great game so far. So I'm looking forward to reviewing that and the Arizona-St. Louis game tonight when they're done. And I'll be doing tomorrow's preview tonight because we play early tomorrow. So with the early games tomorrow, it's easier to do the preview the night before. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.